read aloud today is called The Turtle and the Flute. And this is another fable. Do you remember last week we listened to a fable about the boy who cried wolf? This week it is another fable that we're going to listen to. Remember, a fable is a fiction story. It didn't really happen, but it is written because at the end of the story we learn some kind of a lesson from it. And so it's a fiction story that is written to tell us a lesson and to teach us a lesson. Now, this comes from a country called Brazil in South America. Brazil is way down below us, south of us. And a flute, the flute that it talks about, is a musical instrument that people can play to make music. Remember, good readers visualize things in their mind. They picture the stuff that's happening in the story as they read it. So, at the beginning of this, I'm going to hear that the turtles were or the animals were swaying and humming to Turtle's music. And in my mind, I can picture the animals moving to the music and humming to it. So as we listen to this, see if you could picture that in your mind during that section, what that would look like. And see if you can picture what the other things would look like as well.
The Turtle and the Flute, a tale from Brazil. What are the different sounds that these animals hear in the jungle? Long ago, on the banks of the Amazon River, a happy little turtle played her flute all day. She played joyful music that made all the animals sway and hum. They gathered every day to listen. Macaw squawked, "I can talk and talk all day, but I'd rather listen to you play, Turtle." "I agree," croaked Toad.
So can you imagine the macaw and the toad? Can you see that in your mind and see them talking to the turtle?
As he swayed to the music on his lily pad, "Your music is the nicest in the jungle." Turtle also loved to dance to the music as she played. She leaped around on the jungle floor, hopping and jumping from flower to flower. Tapir whistled as Turtle played and danced, while Macaw sang along to the lovely song. One day, after Turtle had played and danced for hours, she was very tired. "I think it is time to rest. Good night, my friends," she said as she yawned. After her friends waved goodbye, Turtle curled up inside her shell with her flute tucked in beside her. Soon she was fast asleep. After a few hours, a man walked by. He looked down and saw Turtle sleeping on the riverbank. He decided to take her home. He looked around to make sure nobody was watching. He picked her up and exclaimed, "Yum! Turtle soup will make a tasty treat for dinner tonight." The man carefully carried Turtle home. He put her in a sturdy cage in his yard and then closed the lid tightly. His children were playing nearby. They ran over to the cage to see what was inside. "Don't let the turtle out of the cage," the man said to them. "Tonight we will enjoy delicious turtle soup for our dinner."
So how do you think Turtle is going to feel when she wakes up and comes out of her shell and finds out that she's in a cage? Well, let's keep reading to find out.
Then the man went to work in the fields. The children stayed home and played in the yard. Every once in a while, they would peek into the cage at the little turtle. They started to chat about the yummy turtle soup they would have for dinner later. When Turtle woke up, she knew she was not in a familiar place. She was surprised to find herself locked in a cage. She became very frightened when she heard the children say turtle soup. I must escape, she thought. She pushed and pulled on the lid of the cage, but it wouldn't budge. Then she had an idea.
Can you picture Toto inside the cage and using her hands to push and pull on the balls? And maybe she tried it on each side of the cage, but they wouldn't move.
Turtle reached for her flute and began to play. She played the most beautiful music that she knew. The children stopped to listen. Listen! Turtle is playing the flute, they shouted. They ran over to the cage and watched Turtle play. They began to sway to the beautiful music. I can dance as well as play, said Turtle. I can even play and dance at the same time. If you open the cage, I will show you. The children opened the cage, and Turtle started to dance. Turtle's shell banged against the sides of the cage as she danced. The volume of the flute became louder. The children laughed and clapped. I am stiff from dancing in this tiny cage, Turtle stopped and said. Please let me go for a short walk. The children wanted Turtle to entertain them more, so they let her out. May I try your flute? The boy asked. I would love to play beautiful music too. As the boy played, Turtle crawled away. Don't go too far, his sister warned. Turtle crawled around the yard as the children took turns playing the flute. Soon, the children stopped watching, and Turtle crawled closer to the forest. Then, she quietly disappeared under a pile of leaves. The children suddenly looked up and noticed that Turtle was gone. Turtle, Turtle, they called. Where are you? But there was no answer. Turtle tricked us, they said. By the time the man returned home from the fields, Turtle was far away, sitting on the banks of the river once again, playing happy tunes on her new flute.
So, remember, a fable teaches us a lesson. So tomorrow we'll talk about what type of lesson we think that this taught us. But could you picture the things happening? Could you picture Toto crawling over and hiding under the leaves? And then slowly, quietly walking farther and farther away as the children were looking for her? And imagine in your mind how happy Toto looks after she's sitting on the bank of the river playing on her new flute again. I'll bet she's really, really happy. Thank you for listening today, boys and girls.